someone has already hit the same turbulence and gone through it. They have learned from it, and they have probably 1, 2, or 3 ways to get through it. All right, guys, in this week's Motivational Monday, I want to talk a little bit about something that was sparked by a recent Audible book I was going through. You've heard the saying, I'm sure, this too shall pass, right? Like if you're going through some problems or some challenges. Well, I'd like to add to that quote, this too shall pass and you'll be better because of it. I think it's just a mindset thing, right? We all hit what the book was referring to as turbulence, if you will, in life. And it can be a few hours, in life and in business. It can be a few hours, it can be a few days, it can be months. In my case, coming out of the 2008 crash, seriously lasted 4 years, almost to the month, February of 08 to February of 12. I felt like I was in turbulence. But if we frame it properly, that it's short-lived and that we're also learning from it, remember that's the beginning of what I just said, because we learn from everything. Technically, if we're looking at it that way, we are better off when it passes. We are. When I was young, I was thinking when I was listening to this Audible, I would fly with my father. There was a group of guys and they would fly. And I was super young. And we'd hit turbulence and he'd explain why that happens and calmly go through it, not freaking out. And I would never freak out because he had explained it and I learned that lesson, right? And I'm equating this to sort of life and business. It would last 1 minute, 10 minutes max. Sometimes it'd be bumpy the whole flight, but it was turbulence and he would explain it. So as a result, when I'm on a commercial jet and it hits turbulence, I see people freaking out. And I just keep reading and I breathe through it or it doesn't even hit my radar. Or I'm just talking with someone and I keep talking, but I do see people freaking out. And I'm sure you've been in a plane and turbulence hits and people freak out, right? Well, it's primarily fear of the unknown, isn't it? They paint a picture of what it might be, or they watch the news, God forbid, and it's just craziness. So they don't realize that it's perhaps just air that they're traveling through, and it too will pass, right? We all go through life with a little turbulence. I would actually tell you to expect it. If you're kind of like, my mentor used to say to me, if you got your sword to the grinder and sparks are flying, you know you're learning and you're growing, right? Without that, it's the opposite. You're probably going backwards. So we all go through life with a little turbulence, with a little sparks flying. You're not getting through life without it. We are not getting through without it. So expect it. Ask someone how and why that happened. Like with me and my father. Okay, what are we doing? We're going through, and I was young. So then from then on, it was a learning lesson that I kind of raised my bar on and I understood, right? So if you go through turbulence, or when you do, ask someone, hey, why did that happen? How would they have gotten through it? Just like me flying with my father. Same thing. Because any turbulence you hit, I promise you, especially with the internet now, you can find it on YouTube, someone has already hit the same turbulence and gone through it. They have learned from it, and they have probably 1, 2, or 3 ways to get through it. You'll get through it too, and you'll be better because of it. So 2 suggestions. I would urge you to register for the next In the Trenches boot camp we hold. We hold it at our office. It's private, literally is in our Newport, Rhode Island office, so there's not much room. And we bring in 15 or 20 people. And I'm equating it to this because the word boot camp is not a seminar. It is, you're working with us. We're rolling up our sleeves. We're dialing sellers for you, your sellers. We're creating deals. We're creating emails. We're creating deal structures. And that'll help you learn these lessons and learn how to get through turbulence. Like we're doing stuff for 2.25 days with you live in our office. So register for the next one. I'll make sure the links are here somewhere. And then we have a QLS live event coming up. Depending on when you see this video, it's every September. But this year, 2024, if you're seeing this in time, is 23rd and 24th of September. It's only 2 days, action-packed in Boston, Mass for the first time. We used to hold it in Rhode Island for years and years, since 2016. And it doesn't matter when you're seeing this, you can register for both of those. Now, why? Why am I equating this to the turbulence, Motivational Monday? Because the answers are there and you'll be better because of it, period. In the Trenches boot camp we run almost every month. It ends up being 4 to 6 weeks, and then QLS Live every September. Get yourself registered for those. It'll help you stack. It'll help you go through turbulence. It'll help you be a better person and be better off financially. Second call to action. Pick up the book I was sort of referring to this whole time, and that is called Who's in Your Room by Ivan Misner, M-I-S-N-E-R, I believe. Who's in Your Room? It's super short. You'll love it, and I hope it lets you see, understand, and eventually feel by coming with us and seeing us how important it is to be in the right room to direct your future. Make it a great week. We'll see you next week.